Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the planet you're watching this from. And as I promised, I'm going to reveal the number one thing that will, not can, will prevent you from hitting your goals and your targets in 2018. And first I'm going to let Coach hat on a little bit, and even though we're not talking one-to-one, invite you to kind of think about this a little bit for yourself. What do you think it is? Do you think it's the economy? Do you think it's the candidate shortage? Do you think it's HR or internal recruiters? Is it when I ask you that question, would you say it's the poor production, your unmotivated recruiters, you wish you could find good people? Is it your lack of discipline, your lack of time management? Is it a lack of a plan? These are all symptoms of the problem, but they are not the problem, because most of you probably have multiples of those that are kind of like holding you back. So what I would invite you to do is really think about what it is, and I'm going to give you the answer. I just want to build up some anticipation. Carly Simon, for those of you who are older. The problem is the lack of clarity. It's the number one problem. I've been coaching for probably 11 years now, owners, and when I really look at kind of where they want to be out here, kind of where they're at now, and I look at that gap, I want to go from 500,000 to 1 million. Or actually, a lot of times I don't even say that. I say, if we were to meet a year from now, what would have had to happen for you to be happy with your progress in the business? Well, I'd probably hire a couple more recruiters. That's one of the first things that comes out of their mouth if they want to build a firm. In the absence of a revenue target, I'm going to go on into more of that in a minute, so stay with me. But how do I know this? Again, my conversations have been blessed to talk to probably hundreds of owners of recruiting firms in the last 10 years at conferences, people that have approached me and wanted help. And it used to be me too. I used to kind of drift, especially when things are going okay, when you're making more money than you have bills. And you can tuck maybe a little bit away, take a couple vacations. If you found you've plateaued and the motivation's down a little bit, you're probably in a lack of clarity and you're probably not pushing yourself to the next level. And when I talk to those people, the way I know there's a lack of clarity is I hear things like, I want more placements. I want better recruiters. I want better clients. And when I ask for specific definitions of each one of those and other questions that I don't even have time to get into, but you can kind of figure out, I don't get specific answers. And I'm like, exactly, specifically, and precisely, ESP. For those of you who know me, I say that a lot. How many more placements? Exactly how many more revenues? Exactly how do you want your role to evolve? Do you want to stay on a desk and have recruiters supporting you? Do you want to get off a desk? No judgment. They're like, I don't know. I go, that's why you don't have any. That's why you don't have it right now in your business. What does a great recruiter look like? Exactly in your office. It's different for all of us. Each one of us has different strengths. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper into that, but and I'm going to give you right after I mentioned an event I have coming up. I'm going to give you 2 killer questions to close with the answers to which you'll come up with for yourself will launch you for 2018. 2 of the most powerful questions I ask myself every year and I share with my clients. But I'm running an event called How to Build a 500K Desk and a million or multi-million-dollar office in Chicago, November 30th and December 1st, and in Orlando, January 15th and 16th, both at hotels very close to the airport with shuttle service, kind of in and out. What I'd recommend if you fly in for one of those is spend the weekend. In Chicago, it's the weekend after, and Orlando, it's the weekend before. Especially if you're up north like me, get out of the cold. But in those 2 days, we're really going to help you go deeper, and we're going to really get into the kind of the mind hack of what your subconscious does to hold you back. So when you really start thinking about the things you want in the future, and there are probably levels of success you haven't achieved in the past in your business, the first thing that comes up is fear and doubt. And the reason is you don't know how to do it. You have an idea how to do it, but you've never done it before. And then your subconscious tells you all the reasons why you can't. right? So we're going to spend 3 hours the first day really kind of doing brain surgery. And, it's going to be a small group in each town, 40 people each, so I can really get into your questions as to really what the things are from a mental level, from a subconscious level. And I've invested a ton of myself to figure this out that hold you back. Then we're going to jump into strategies and tactics, marketing without cold calling. There's 3 techniques I teach. How to get retainers and engagements from companies that you think never pay them. How do I know? Because my clients say, oh, nobody in my niche pays retainers. Because you're selling it the wrong way. Does everyone pay retainers? No. Can you build an entire business and go mostly engaged if you make that choice? Yes, I'll show you how in those 2 days. And then we're going to talk about leverage structures. And by leverage structures, I mean how to outsource things like research, recruiting, and sourcing, even if you're a solo operator. You don't have to open an office with today's technology. You can do all of that in the context of a virtual environment. We're going to talk about how to do that. And again, it's November 30th, December 1st, which is coming up really, really quick, and January 15th and 16th in Orlando. You can see all the details. I'm not going to spend any more time on this at the recruiteru.com/intensive. And it's the Recruiter U as University, or call Priscilla. She's manning or womaning the phone. 860-200-7153. 860-200-7153. She's been to a couple of the events. You can answer all your questions about what's in it after you look at the page, etc. The price is going up next week. So we're in early bird mode right now. We're going out of early bird mode. So no fake scarcity. They're going up next week. It's going to just be a few $100 more, but well worth it. So let me go back to the 2 killer questions. I promise I'll close out with that, and I'll say goodbye. The 2 killer questions to get you clarity are, write these down. And this first one was given to me by a mentor of mine named Dan Sullivan, founder of Strategic Coach, one of the most brilliant human beings on the planet. If you and I were to meet a year from now, November 2018, what would have had to happen in your life, both personally and professionally, for you to be really happy with your progress? And write the answers to that down. And write them down as if you've already completed them, not in the future, meaning next year I will. No, it's a year from now, and here's what's happened. We've grown revenue by $250,000. I've added 2 new recruiters, one who just started, and we're poised to add another $500,000 next year. You're talking about it really specific. Remember, the key is specificity. Specificity gives clarity, and that's the key thing. The second one is, and exactly what does that allow for you that you don't have now? Because if you don't know why you're going to stretch yourself, if you don't know why you're going to make yourself a little bit uncomfortable, as soon as you get uncomfortable, you've probably done this in the past, right? You pull back. Because you're like, oh, I got some money coming in. I've just made a placement. We got $50,000. My bills are covered. So you know where I'm going. Anyway, if you really want to go deep on this, if you really want to start to clear the mental clutter, I've invested a ton in myself on this, and I've kind of put together a curriculum for part of the day. And then we're going to, like I said, launch into strategies and tactics, hiring recruiters, onboarding recruiters, coming up with training systems, things like that. That'll all be covered in the event. You can see it on the webpage, therecruiteru, as in university.com/intensive. Visit it soon, and I hope to see you at the event. If I don't see you at the event, please take those 2 questions, get clarity, and start implementing. Thanks. Bye now.